Hey, hello everybody. So, you know what? I love making videos, so I need to make some bread today. And I have not made bread in a bread machine before. I've actually made a more complicated Julia Child French bread recipe, which took all day before, and that was a lot of work. This should be a little easier. Before I get started too far, though, I have the yeast, and this has been sitting in our fridge for a long time, so I thought it might be a good idea to get it activated a little bit. So I put a quarter cup warm water, the amount of yeast that they're calling for. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in a little bit of sugar for these guys, get them all happy and excited about life, and we'll get them activating. We'll make sure this... The other thing this is going to do for us is this will make sure that the yeast is still alive. So they're going to go to town on that sugar and start making some bubbles pretty soon. Okay, so we get the yeast going. So it says the first part of my recipe is to pour the water in the pan, right? So we need how much water here? 1 1/4 cup. Let's get some water. One. And you know what? I'm not going to add the 1/4 cup because the 1/4 cup is right here in with my yeast. Pour the water into the bread pan first. Add the oil. And we're going to run into our first problem. It's asking for sunflower oil. That's very fancy, huh? But I don't have anything fancy like that, so I'm going to substitute sunflower oil. So we'll get our tablespoon measure out. And they want 2 tablespoons. So this was a hand-me-down bread machine from a friend of ours. Nothing like free. There's another friend who moved to Florida who gave us our barbecue when we were invited over to his house to go through stuff. He said, it's all free 99. I said, that's the right price. So, we've got our oil. And it says, add the oil and half the flour. So how much flour is it asking for? It's asking for 4 1/2 cups of flour. So you know what? We're going to add the 4, or the 2 I should say, and call it good. So, to measure out flour correctly, go ahead and do this in front of the camera. You kind of scoop it out. It's going to be a god-awful mess, and you very carefully go across with a knife and level it off. For those folks who've never had any cooking class, the extent of my cooking classes was 7th grade cooking. So that is not an extensive knowledge of cooking. My fabulous wife does most of the cooking and I do dishes. But I figure I can learn to start baking here a little more. Help out more. Alright. See what we say next. Always follow your recipe, people. Add the oil and half the flour. Sprinkle over the salt, sugar, and remaining flour. How much salt are we going to put in here? 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Oh, they're going to make me grab an extra measuring here. It's really handy to have measuring spoons. 1/2 teaspoon. Alright. Salt. A little worried about this yeast here. It doesn't look very foamy. Hopefully we're going to start seeing some action there. When you activate yeast, a couple important things. Make sure that you do not put it in too hot of a water. Somewhere around 100 degrees or so, I think, is the ideal. I don't know, I shouldn't talk out of the top of my head. You can go look it up online and find the proper temperature, but you put yeast in hot boiling water and you're going to have some dead yeast. Alright, sprinkle over the top. And then 1/2. Let's make sure that's right. You never want to put too much salt. Same technique. Kind of scrape it off to get a good even measure. That's how you do dry measure ingredients. All right. And remaining flour, so that's going to be 2.5 cups more of flour. That's important. That's a half cup right there. I planned ahead. I need my knife. I need my knife. Here we go. Show what we mean by this. So I have a heaping, not going to tamp it in, I'm not going to smash it down, I'm just going to scrape it off. And then we need more flour. Oh, this is a little bit ridiculous for this right here. Let's see. Is that going to work? Oh, no, it's not enough. Not enough. There we go. Monstrous right there. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I'm going to make a mess here. Everybody watch me make a mess. Make the mess. Makes the mess all over the counter. There we go. Uh-oh, you see I kind of screwed that up a little bit, but it's a little high there, a little low there. Hopefully that's going to be good. We'll find out. Alright. This is what it looks like when someone doesn't know what they're doing, does a video about something. Bread making is not my forte. Hopefully in a couple years we'll do some professional videos and I'll start having some experience on this. Okay. Cap everything. Don't make a mess. Ah, clean as you go. There we go. So this is no endorsement for this book. This is also, what is this? Bread by Catherine Hawkins. So we're giving this a shot. We've never made anything out of this book, but we have the book, so let's make it. Let's see. Sprinkle over the salt, sugar, and remaining flour. Reserve 1 tablespoon. Make a small indentation at the top of the pile and put the yeast in the center. You know what I did wrong here is that bread pan should have been sitting here instead of me making a mess on the lip here, apparently. Oh well, live and learn. So what is this looking like? You know, I didn't do, I'm starting to see a little bit of a film here. Well, I'm hoping that these guys wake up and get going. So they eat the sugar and give off CO2. And that's the magic. That's where all the bubbles in the bread come from. Okay. Let's go through it again, make sure we've done everything correctly. Pour the water into the pan first. Add the oil, half the flour, oil's in, flour's in, half the flour. Sprinkle the salt. You know what I didn't put in was sugar, right? We skipped that. You see, that's why you read your instructions twice. How much sugar are we supposed to put in this thing? 1 tablespoon extra fine sugar. This is not extra fine sugar. You see, we're screwing up the recipe all over the place. And that's a dirty tablespoon. Chaos, people, chaos. Well, you know what you do? You say, do I have a half a tablespoon somewhere? Where, oh where? Half a tablespoon. I hear if you do that twice, that'll be a tablespoon. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. Somebody stop me. Alright. Got the sugar for the coffee. So here's where we're just screwing this recipe all over the place. We're not using sunflower oil. It's saying extra fine sugar, but we're using this fine organic sugar right here, which I would not necessarily call extra fine, although those are pretty nice small crystals. But I don't know if they mean by extra fine that they're calling for powdered sugar here. So anyway, what are we gonna do? 2 of these, right? Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it up a little bit because you see I hear guys never follow instructions, and you know, I didn't follow instructions because the sugar should have gone in before I dumped that extra bit of flour. So we're going to be very lucky how this bread comes out. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, we mixed it up. I'm making a small indentation in here to pour my mixture. This is starting to look better. I'd say I'm seeing like a little bit of something happening inside of there. It looks like it's activating, hopefully. Okay, moment of truth. Go ahead and stir all this up a little bit. Pour that in the center. Alright, yeast, go in there and have a party. They're going in there, they're multiplying, they're eating, they're pooping alcohol. It's real exciting. Alright, let's see. Fit the pan into the bread machine and set the basic normal setting, medium crust, and press start. It's in the pan. Close it. Helps if you plug it in, I hear. Completely cluttered. Ah! 2. They say 2 here, right? We want medium crust. Select. Oh. There we go. So on the Jeffmate, you have to hit select twice. Let's bring it over here. Very exciting. Very exciting. Basic regular crust is 1. Basic medium crust is 2. That's what we were told to do. Hit start. Holy smokes. I think even a guy like me could do this. Oh, there's the action. Very exciting. I'm excited. Okay, but not Louis C.K. excited. Haha. Poor Louis C.K. Well, I shouldn't say poor. He's a dirty man. Anyway, he got caught. Now he's going to be the butt of jokes for a long, long time. Anyway, so everybody put in their favorite Louis C.K. joke, and we'll have a good time. Alright, everybody, we're going to stop the video now. I don't think you want to sit for probably 2 hours while this mixes and cooks. So we'll unveil the loaf in a little bit. Everybody have a good weekend. Okay, we have 40 minutes left here. You can see that this still has a long way to go till it's top of the loaf. I'm sure hoping it rises. I was reading the instructions and I see there that I need to limit the sugar, and when I added sugar to the yeast I may have oversugared the recipe. So see, this is why I make all the mistakes, so that you guys don't have to. So probably I should have taken the sugar I was going to add later, used a little bit of that sugar, and made sure I kept it well within the recipe measurements. Anyway, there you go. I'll give you an update in 20 minutes, see where we're at. Alright, we are 15 minutes away from popping this sucker out. You can see that it did not rise to the full edge of the pan there. It's really hard to see. So we'll see what it looks like when it's out. Alright, it's time to pull our bread and see what we want. But all of our, well, I wouldn't call it hard work. I wouldn't say I've been working hard, Bob. Oh. It's hard to grab that little wire though, huh? Alright. So, let's give you a shot of it before I pop it. That's what we're working with. And I think I'm going to grab myself an extra hot mitt. These beautiful hot mitts here. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, how beautiful is that? It actually popped. Okay. Guess we'll leave that out to cool too. I want to go ahead and rock and roll on some what do you call it? There was a nice banana bread recipe in here, chocolate chip banana bread, and we have a banana that went bad, and that sounds like a perfect way to not waste food and practice what I preach. So let's take a look at this. See, the paddle is still embedded in here, and they say, so they don't get sued, you have to wait an hour. I don't think I have to wait an hour, but we'll let it cool for a minute. We're going to respect the fact that that's piping hot. So look at that. That is actually a nice crust all the way around. Kind of did a weird mushroom. Kind of a mushroom effect over there. That's kind of interesting. Look at that. There you go. Anyway, so I'm going to let that cool for a little bit. The recipe says let it cool for an hour, but I'm not that patient. So I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes and we'll cut it open. And you'll see here I have, that is what the ideal bread would look like. Although I would honestly wonder, was that done in a bread machine? Who knows? Anyway, maybe the dough was kneaded. That looks like a perfect loaf of bread right there. So anyway, that is what I'm shooting for. This is what I have. You know, not so pretty from that side. There we go. We got to go for the 3/4 look. Even there, it's not perfect. But whatever. You know what? This is the first loaf we've made here. Everybody have a good weekend, and I'll show you what the final cut. Alright, everybody. So we have about another 7 minutes left. I'm super impatient. This is cool enough for me to touch. So, see, there's a little bit of a mess in there. I'm just going to see what I can do by just taking a little rag, and I'm going to just wipe around inside of here. See what I can do, because this nonstick feels really good. And I'm almost betting I can just wipe this sucker out. Look already, it's almost done. That's really nice. I almost wonder how many times the person who gave this to us actually used it. Anyway, look at that, the nonstick is perfect. So we'll just give this another little wipe, and I think I'm going to be ready to do, hopefully you guys will be seeing part 2 of unveiling the bread machine. Yeah, call that good. We'll make some banana bread next. Okay, so the next step is going to be to remove this guy. There's that paddle in there. You are fairly embedded, aren't you? We're going to make an incision in the patient. There you are. Oh, look at that. Oh, there you go. How hot are you? Super, super hot still. Okay. Well, here's the first taster. Not bad. We're pretty spoiled, so we'll see. Alright, let's give it another 5 minutes here, and we'll make our first slice and see what we're working with. Alright, everybody, I am super impatient, so what's going to be the best thing to do? So you see I have a drying rack, and I went ahead and I put a plate underneath it, so I'm not going to have a huge mess. So let's try to give you the best shot we can. Got my nice bread knife here. Making a ton of noise here. Sorry, people. Ooh, that loaf is still super hot. Oh, but I'm gonna try to enjoy some nice fresh bread here. Okay. So let's see if we can zoom in there. What am I going to notice about the crust here? Well, first of all, I clearly cut it too soon, right? Because you can see it's still developing. The crumb, I think, is the correct term. So where are we looking at? Right here. That's what we're going for, right? Sure, we're getting a good. That's the ideal, and that's what we have. So you can see up around the edges, hopefully when it finishes up, it'll be pretty close to that. So let's give it the taster. I want to cut the wire rack here. I'll do it this way. Alright. Let's get ourselves some genuine butter. So, just so I get a taste of it. That's pretty good, actually. You know what? I'm a poor man. Live like a poor man. Someday I'm gonna be rich when I collect my retirement. That's not bad. Just put that away. Too much butter. I'd like to be alive in a few years and enjoy myself. Alright. That would do. It's definitely passable for bread. I was a little worried. That spot right next to the paddle didn't taste very good, but this is pretty good. I don't think that paste is going to make it too much longer. Holy smokes. That'll do. So this is kind of stuff you save money on. So first of all, you could do this by hand. It'd be a little more work. It'd be a lot more work. I've done it by hand. But still, you know, you incorporate it throughout your day. Need some dough, set it aside. You know, you have to punch it down, reknead it, and then bake it. And plus baking, especially during the wintertime, warms up your house. Anyway, this is delicious. That will definitely do. So, the other thing I was going to say, I bet if you asked around 10 friends, 5 of them have a bread maker in their garage they're not using. Maybe one out of those 5 that has a bread maker will give it to you for free. We got this one for free from somebody who's likes to buy kitchen gadgets and then doesn't really use them to their fullest and then gives them away. So it was free to us, and really nice lady. Thank you very much. We're gonna enjoy this. So could pick one up at a secondhand store, Craigslist it, or make bread by hand and save a ton of money. Pardon me for eating here. Delicious. So anyway, I'll definitely call that bread. That's definitely better than at least half the stuff you can buy off the shelf, actually. So we'll start kicking it up a notch. I think I found a whole new... You guys are going to have to endure a whole series of bread making videos now. Anyway, so I think I can call this one good. It was a simple white loaf. And the book is called Bread. And who is it? Catherine Hawkins. Alright, like you said, as a good first start, she says right here, start with this one because it's so hard to mess up. And you'll want to keep going. So I would say, yeah, I'm definitely willing to find some more recipes. In fact, on page 99, it looks like we're going to have... What are we going to give you guys next? Oh, that's what we're going to do next. A little prelude, huh? That's called banana and chocolate chip bread. Let's see how close I can get mine to look like that. Alright, everybody have a good weekend. I'm going to enjoy some more bread and butter. And have